Spinalis dorsi. Yeah, you don't got to say it like that. It's just the ribeye cap. Nonsense, Spinalis dorsi. Welcome, friends, fellow meat enthusiasts. Today we're doing Spinalis steaks, also known as the ribeye cap. To some, it's the best part of the cow. We're going to find out. We're going to start by removing it, and a good place to do that, a good time to do that, is when you have a whole rib roast on sale for the holidays, and you do it yourself. So we're going to start by taking our breaking knife and just get it moving along the bones. And I've seen where this ribeye cap steak has sometimes the steaks have already been sliced, and then they remove each cap steak individually. We're going to take it off whole. I think that's a much more practical way to do it. I mean, that's a good question in itself. Is this practical? If you were looking to not go through all this and just buy a Spinalis steak, you can look, but not a lot of places sell them, and there's two good reasons for that. One reason is if you take the cap off the ribeye, what you're left with, it's kind of not a ribeye anymore. What does the butcher do with that other piece of meat? So if he is going to sell it, he's got to mark up the Spinalis so high that it takes care of the loss on the eye. That's why when you see it online, I've seen it on the low end at $100 a pound and on the high end at $200 a pound. A lot of them do it by the piece. You'd have to do the math on all that yourself individually. So bones removed, and the bones are a good meal in themselves. You could cut in between each bone if you wanted and cook them individually, or you could keep them as a whole slab. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but they come out delicious just in the oven. Salt, pepper, garlic. So like I said, sometimes you see it where the steak is sliced first and then they remove the cap individually. We're not going to do that. We're going to go right into removing the Spinalis itself. So you see this little fat thing here, and actually you got all this rubbery, not so desirable looking stuff. I'm going to take some of that off first. Not a lot. Got some visible scalding here. Just doesn't look great. Hey, for $200 a pound steaks, I think we could remove it. So you kind of get it started by hand. You see where that separating fat is on your main eye. So untrimmed, Spinalis removed. And then any of the excess fat off the main eye, I always keep, because a lot of time if there's a cheaper piece of meat on sale, say a bottom round or really anything that's just kind of lean, you could grind it up with your ribeye fat. It makes some of the best burgers you'll ever have. We've done a few different videos doing different variations of that. It is that season. We've built up some ribeye fat. I think we'll be doing another one again soon. And, you know, you leave some stuff on the ribeye. I think we're going to leave some stuff on here. I'm just going to remove a little bit of the heavy fat, and I think we're done. I've seen it where they've been tied up in pretty little steaks like this, where we string it up. Maybe we try that. I'd be interested to hear in the comments. A lot of you guys are meat cutters yourself who follow this channel. Have you ever done this? Have you ever separated the Spinalis and tried it on its own? And would you do it again? That's my question. I've had this before. I know what I'm in for, but only once, because a normal ribeye is just so good and effortless. So there you have it, Spinalis roast. Still looks pretty, but it's missing. I did leave some of that cap behind, especially as you get towards the New York strip end and away from the chuck end, because that would just be a totally maimed steak all the way. I thought about taking it off, but I still wanted to enjoy these. Hey, boy. Good boy. We're just going to hit it with some light seasoning. I think Kender's makes a pretty good salt, pepper, garlic blend. Just a little bit of a time saver if you don't do it yourself. Got our Spinalis roast at this point. A very hot grill. Unseasoned steak for the dogs. Give it a slice, and then each slice going back on the grill. Feels super tender right away. Yeah, exactly where you want it. Nice chart outside, rare in the middle.
That looks better than filet.
I was just thinking that. If you took a tenderloin up against a Spinalis steak, I think, I'll tell you for sure after we taste it, I would go Spinalis all day. And back on the grill. Just a little disclaimer, I have zero culinary training. Still got a string on each slice. So all I'm doing is removing the string. All right, let's give this Spinalis steak a shot. You're not going to believe it. It's good. Oh, the texture of that is beautiful. It is super rich. You don't realize how rich it is when you're just eating it in conjunction with a ribeye. Let's take the eye of the ribeye without the Spinalis. Still an amazing steak. How do you think it's going to compare? Normally that's really good, but the buttery tenderness of the Spinalis there kind of makes me just want to eat out of this pile rather than this one. What do you think, boy? You want to try some of this steak? If you guys like this video, please give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out a lot. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell to see what we're up to next. Also, go to our store, check out some of our merch. Thanks a lot for watching.
What is this one?
This is the Spinalis. This is the regular, just the eye of the ribeye.
All right.
So that's the Spinalis.
It's very good. It's tender. had to do nothing to make that tender, just salt, pepper, garlic, right?
Yep. Didn't mess with it at all.
It is, and I had a small piece. I felt like very rich.
Yeah.
It had a strong beef flavor despite the seasoning, despite the char.
Yep.
It was very flavorful. All right, and this is just the
regular eye of the ribeye.
All right, so the eye is tougher. Doesn't have as much flavor at all. It's it reminds me closer to a sirloin than it does anything else, honestly.
Weird.
Because that tough texture. It has a beef flavor to it, but it's tough.
It seems tougher than it is because you just tried Spinalis. My conclusion, Spinalis is a fun thing to do. I've only done it a couple of times, but a ribeye is good enough, I think, in general. I'm going to eat the ribeye with the cap, keep it balanced that way. Stay. Everybody stay. Get it. Good dogs.